Iain, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for coming all this way for little old me.
And the relevance of this is that we came to see you.
Yes,
Do
I
your
was in
stand-up
Leeds
show.
last night, yeah.
Relevant. How nice is it to be back on stage?
Obviously, like stand-up was like my first love or whatever. Like, and the way I grew up, like I was always told like to have a trade sort of thing. So like stand-up's weirdly like my trade. Like telly can like come and go and all that sort of stuff. But I feel like as long as you go to a room and make people laugh, they'll always come back to see you again. So like stand-up's like my constant that I've always got, and the other stuff's like a little cherry on top sort of thing.
There's a big show for you. So
Yes.
we're ending it in Edinburgh, the homecoming. How are you feeling?
Well, it's like the biggest show I think I've ever done in Scotland. Biggest show outside London. Like any job, it can be like stressful at times and like hard, and like you wonder if you're doing the right thing for like you and your family and all this stuff. And then when you get when you get to do like a theatre in your hometown that size, it's sort of like it sort of justifies everything that you've done up to that point. So it's like really nice, yeah.
Is that the one where family, friends, ancient school friends come out the woodwork, want
Mum's
tickets?
in charge of guest list. Yeah, we've got an after party. Then the after party, Mum's taking everyone to Fingers, I think, as well till 5 o'clock.
I want to go to Fingers.
You're more than welcome to come along. Please bring your pals.
When did you know you wanted to do comedy?
I think sort of weirdly, I think I probably always knew I wanted to be one. Like I was always a bit obsessed with it, and then, but where I grew up, it was never really an option. I was like theatre wasn't a thing at my school and all that, and then it was going to the Edinburgh Fringe, and I was I can do this. So me and my friend Greg, we just started writing sketches, and then we just did this sketch show. We did it for like 2 or 3 years, and then. Yeah, that's when I sort of knew I loved doing like live performance.
But you nearly went into law.
I basically got this job in CBBC when I was at uni, and then I think in my head I was like, I'll go to London for a year and see if it works, and if it doesn't work, I'll go back, and if it does, it does. Luckily, doing the BBC helped my mum and dad be like, oh, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Because they're always like, get a real job. But because I was doing it, not now. Still sometimes now.
Are you the funny dad?
I think so, actually. I've always been, because I think it's because of the kids' TV. I don't know how funny adults find me all the time, but kids think I'm hilarious, like. So I'm really happy with it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I do it more on a sort of like, I like to talk to a kid on a sort of more like, you know, one-to-one basis. I treat them more maybe growing up. My little one was born. I thought once you get to 3 or 4, I'm going to be absolutely smashing this. But yeah, I'd really enjoy it. That's like one of my favourite bits, I think, is like having a laugh with someone and having a little pal.
And with Laura,
yes,
you both have such successful careers, but you work together as well on the podcast. As you point out in the show, like many comedians and their wives.
If you're in a relationship, you've got to have a podcast now.
How is it working together?
Like genuinely falling in love with it, and like now when we're both really busy, it's like the one time of the week we actually sit down together, no phones, talk through a case, because like obviously one week Laura does the research and tells me a true crime story, and then the other week I'll do it. It's been like a really nice way to hang out, really, in a sort of weird way. And then we didn't really know about podcasts either, so I had no idea how popular it was going to be. So it's sort of wild to me that so many people listen.
What do you love when you come home? What are your home
I love
comforts?
walking the dogs, like out where we live. We take them out to the Braid Hills. I love walking the dogs. I just love getting on a bus and getting to thank a driver. I love calling everything juice. Yeah, you ask
juice.
You ask for a can of juice in London and people think you're mental.
Seriously?
Bucket. I don't know if that's just an East Coast thing, but we call a bin a bucket. Can you chuck that in the bucket?
That's weird.
Yeah, people think that's weird.
You said you love a chippy.
Yeah, I mean, I've found a few now, but the level of fish and chips in Scotland compared to down south is wild. Scottish fish and chips are amazing. Dundee's great for fish and chips, you know.
My co-host on What's on Scotland is Gordon Smart, who I believe you know.
I can see where this is going. I can actually see where this is going.
He told me a brilliant story of how he was meant to host the Hibs Player of the Year Awards.
Oh my, get over it, Gordon.
And they asked for your number, and 3 months later he was bumped, and Iain Stirling got the job.
I know, I'm hosting it again this year.
Are you? Just rub it in, I love it.
This is a hot, Gordon, I hate for you to find out this way, mate, but I'm doing it again this year. Just before my big show in Edinburgh. I tell you what, I'll bring Gordon down to the show. He can come to the show on the 31st.
He'll go to the show and go to fingers. He'll be fine with that.
I'll make a public apology. I'm sure some Hibs players are coming to the show on the 31st, so he can meet them.
He can.
He'll hate that. He'll hate that. I'll sign a shirt for him.